Everybody, we'll get started here. That was a hell of a fight. It really was. I told the team, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the moments in my career that I've been prouder of a team. I don't know. There's not many. Just probably our attitude reminded me a lot of the halftime down in Waco a few years ago, where we weren't playing well, but we were poised, and I think we all felt like our confidence didn't change, and it didn't get rocked by the fact that we didn't play well early. Team we're playing made some plays against us early, and we hung in there. And I think there was a strong belief with our squad that if we can right the ship a little bit, and if we'll just cut out a couple of the simple mistakes we felt like we were making, that we could absolutely get back into this thing. And it was such a different game than we've played, obviously, because this was a high possession game, a lot of back and forth, and it took everybody to do it. But what an epic comeback. This one's really, really special here. It is. It's, I don't think it'll be the pinnacle of our season. Certainly don't expect it to be, but at the same time, you got to appreciate for what it is. And those of us that have been in this game know how hard it is to win it, for both sides always. And so it was a great fight, especially when you overcome a start that was probably maybe the worst in all my years of coaching, certainly in head coaching. I don't know if we've ever started off that poorly. And we had to dig deep. There was a time there we felt like, hey, if you don't make a couple plays, we went, we said we're going to be aggressive. Went forward on some fourth downs. Obviously got some huge stops defensively in the second half. Some unbelievable individual plays, but Marvin Mibbs, Caleb Kelly, really those guys, Kennedy. Some guys really stick out. I thought our lines really in the second half really played well, established ourselves, both the defensive line and offensive line. And a lot of credit today, too, to our strength staff, our nutrition staff, our training staff, because record highs here in Dallas. Yeah, in the intensity of that game, how many snaps there were. And I felt like our guys were at their best in the second half. And there's a lot of people that have contributed to that. So they're all appreciated. It is a tremendous win, and very proud of my team.
Okay, we'll go to questions. We'll start with Ryan Aber.
Yeah, Lincoln, it seemed like when Caleb Williams came into the game, it didn't throw the ball as much, especially there initially. How important was what Kennedy was able to do? Obviously, those 2 touchdowns stand out, but just to be able to eat up the kind of yards that he was able to do, and obviously those direct snap touchdowns there late.
Yeah, no, he played well. I thought the line was really, really good in the run game, gave him some clean lanes. And honestly, we go back and look at it. I think there's several times that we had shoestring tackles that we felt like we were closer to big plays. But no, that was important regardless of who was playing quarterback. We said it all week. Got to run the ball typically well in this game to win this game. We were at our best when we needed it. Kennedy ran well. And again, a lot of credit goes to our offensive line, tight ends, guys in there really grinding it out in a tough, hard-fought physical game.
Yeah, let's go to Gary Neiman.
Lincoln, I was hoping to get you to reflect on the decision to make the change to Caleb. Was it difficult, and what was the factor that made you pull the trigger?
Yeah, it was because Spencer was seeing some things that we missed early that weren't on him, and then I thought the big thing to me though was the turnovers. We made just a mental error on the first one, and then obviously the fumble, and just knowing this game, you can't turn the ball over and win this game. It's very, very difficult to do. And so, yes, similar to a little bit to the year past, I really was expecting to put him back in. Didn't know it would come on maybe the single most important play of the game. But he handled it like a pro. I thought we got a little bit of a rhythm when Caleb came in. He did some good things. And so, we were scoring, we were moving it. So I stayed with it. And, I'll tell you what, I know you guys are going to go write a bunch of stuff, do what you do. That's your job. That's not my job. But the trust I had to put Spencer back in the most important play of the game, the guts he had to do to go in there and perform for his team, a guy that was sulking, not a team guy, not into it, not still wanting to win no matter what happened for him personally. That's him, and that's why he was ready to go execute the most important play of the game. So I'm proud of both of those guys for how they responded to the start. We needed them both to win it, and so we'll play better there as we go on with both of them. But proud of how they both handled it.
Jesse Crittenden. All right, let's go to John Hoover.
Yeah, Lincoln, wanted to follow up with you about Caleb. It looked like my presumption was that you were going to put Spencer back in at some point, but when Caleb takes the first play, 66 yards for a touchdown, and then starts playing like he did, and then you start to see the defense kind of pick up their tempo and their intensity, was it just too hard at that point to give the ball back to Spencer?
It wouldn't have been hard to give it back to Spencer. I felt like we got in a rhythm, and really the 66-yard touchdown didn't have much to do with it. I mean, that's a play we were going to put Caleb in for no matter what. So, I mean, that's a play that we feel like he can make, and he obviously did it. And, when teams load up on you, short yardage, you pop one out, you can go. And he did a great job. It was a tremendous play, but that wasn't a factor in keeping him in. I just thought when he came in, he managed it pretty well. He missed some really easy things that we got to get better at. I mean, really both of them, which obviously, both guys, that points to me. They got to both play better, but they will. But again, I'm proud of their, execution can get better. Yep. I'm proud of their insides. I'm proud of their, their guts, their commitment to this team, despite whatever people are going to ride on the outside, man. Those are two dudes who just wanted to win, and they wanted to win till the final whistle, and we needed them both to do it.
Am I oversimplifying that he sparked the defense a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Terry Murdoch.
Lincoln, you're defensively, can you talk about kind of just what those guys did to kind of get it under control? I know Nick had, was pressuring the quarterback. Perrion had some tackles for loss. I know Isaiah was playing inside a little bit, but was that kind of what gave you the spark, those guys inside?
Yeah. I think we were able to turn those guys loose a little bit more just because we controlled the run game. It felt like I hadn't seen the final stats. I don't have them in front of me, but it felt like just controlled the run game, and there was just a lot less room there in the second half. So, and I think that's important. I mean, when you got the back that they have, like we said all week, you can't let him get going, and then so much of their play action feeds off of that. So it allowed us to turn it loose. I thought we just played more in control. Still gave up a few too many down the field that we know that we can't give up. So we're going to continue to improve. But yeah, we played 11-man football, and our front was really good in the second half. Guys tackled better in the second half. I mean, it was, again, nothing magic. We played better football all the way around. And again, I think a lot of it goes back to, this team really starting to really believe kind of what we talked about even after the Tulane game. Like we don't want to be circumstantial, and we don't want to the ups and the downs and all the stuff on the outside. It can't affect us. We just have to keep playing and keep playing on Saturdays and then keep improving during the week, and then just repeat. If we do that, we're going to get better. We are getting better. And I think, I told them after the game, it could have been walking in there and, let's say Texas makes a play at the end and they win that game. Obviously it wouldn't have felt like it does right now, but the fight to come back, people haven't been in that arena, it's hard to explain it, because that arena, as much as any in our sport, man, there's no hiding. Like if it doesn't go well, you just poke in another corner and nobody sees it. I mean, like you're out there and you got two choices, and our team made its choice before the game got started, stayed with it, and that's why we won it.
By the way, for context, Texas had 27 yards rushing in the second half.
Yeah, it felt like it.
Thanks, Lincoln.
You're welcome.
Brian.
Coach, did you consider at all going with Spencer Rattler on the final drive of the game, given what he did against West Virginia?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I considered it a lot. I mean, I was at halftime, talking to those guys, all that. I felt really confident, like in either one. And so, I mean, like even the decision to put Spence in for the 2-point play, like it wasn't a hard decision. Like, I thought Caleb's came in and played well. I thought Spencer was still razor locked in. Again, he's pretty unflappable, man. And so, I was just going to kind of feel it out as we went. And honestly, I was just going to go with my feel on it. It wasn't going to be do I have confidence in this guy or do I have confidence in that guy? I had confidence in both guys. Otherwise, I wouldn't have played Caleb a bunch like I did, and I wouldn't have put Spencer in on the single most important play of the game. So, high confidence with how they both handled it. Felt like they're both ready to play. And like I said, we just got on a run, and I decided to stay with Caleb.
Kevin Sherrington.
Coach, you feel like you've talked about how both guys have made contributions at quarterback today, but so are you ready to say who the starting quarterback will be against TCU?
I'm surprised that it took 10 questions to get that. No, I'm not ready. Sorry.
James Hale.
You know, Lincoln, you and I talked about special teams a couple of weeks ago, and you know, here they try to return, and Caleb Kelly comes up with a huge play in this game,
Yes.
man. Talk
Yes.
about that, because here's Caleb. You know, Caleb does that every once in a while. He comes up with a huge play in the game that helps you win a game.
Guy's a baller, man. Guy's a gamer. I mean, he's just a guy that I don't care what side of the ball it is. When he's out there, man, you feel better. And just because you know you're going to get a smart, tough, physical player that's going to give you everything he has on every snap. And what a huge play that was, man. An unbelievable play. I mean, it was really, really special by him. And I know here in his last one, with all he's been through, you know, see him make that play for the team. It was, man, it was. I would have obviously been happy with seeing anybody make it, but see Caleb do that, and no surprise, it was extra special.
What happened on your punt block, Lincoln?
I need to see it again, but to clarify, it looks like I think we might have had some alignment errors, and then gave up penetration in the area that we can't. So, but a little tough to see from my vantage point. I've got an idea, but I'd like to look at it first.
Thanks. Congrats.
Brandon Drum.
Hey, Lincoln, I noticed you guys caught quite a bit on the kickoffs, and obviously piggybacking off of what James said, that could happen, obviously. So there's always the good that comes with the bad there. But is there a strategy behind that? Because there was a couple of times that looked like, you know, where he fair caught him near the 20, that he could have maybe gained 10 or 15 yards past, you know, the 25-yard line that you're going to get set at.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a strategy. You know, you guys may argue whether it's well thought out or not, but I'm not gonna delve into it. But yeah, there was certainly the guys. I'll say this: the guys did what we told them to do. The guys made the right decisions on it. The kickoff return game has changed a lot as the rules in our game have changed, and it's, you know, we're constantly evaluating the risk reward versus going and returning one and the value of touchbacks. And so it's, you know, a constant conversation even throughout the game. You know, and then, you know, every now and then, you know, you call for a fair catch and guy gets under ball and you wish you would have returned it. That's a little bit the nature of the game, but the guys did what we told them to and did a good job with it.
Well, and also your linebackers, you guys, Grinch has, you know, he's been up and down on them as well, but they seem like they had one of their better games overall. Would you agree with that?
I definitely felt like it. Just especially with the challenge that Texas is. I mean, they do a great job offensively moving guys around, throw a lot of different things at you. Not to mention you got to tackle, you know, a tremendous tailback, defend all their things. So yeah, I thought we were better there. It felt like we tackled better, just had more of a presence and more of an impact on the football game.
Thanks, Lincoln.
You're welcome.
Chris Vanini.
Yeah, Lincoln, what did you make of the environment? Obviously, last year's game was not a full crowd.
Yeah.
You know, your fans especially are really into it. What'd you make of the environment this year?
Oh man, epic. I mean, epic. I mean, that second half run, the energy in that stadium, it's one of the best things in our sport, man. Our crowd, our crowd was great, man. I appreciate our crowd. They stayed into it even as we started to make the run. And you know, I think we really kind of both fed off each other, us off the crowd off of us. And that's why it's the best rivalry in college football. It's the best setting. I mean, it was awesome, man. I mean, it was as good as I've ever seen.
Okay, time for a few more. Let's go to Barry Trammell.
Yeah, Lincoln, when Caleb came into the game, right, you said he was ready. He certainly looked ready. Did you have to scale back any of your offense? Is there anything you can't do when he comes into the game today? And it looked like on the line of scrimmage a couple of times, play clock got late. Is that just a case of his uncertainty? And how do you feel like he handled all those elements of the game?
He did a pretty good job. You know, I mean, when you're the backup quarterback, naturally you're not going to get as many reps. With him being young, I've tried to, you know, get enough that we feel comfortable with him. You know, are there a handful of things in a game like today that when he's in, I wouldn't call? Maybe a couple, but I mean, it's not game changing. You know, I mean, you're talking maybe less than 5%. So, No, I felt like I could call a lot of the offense with him. And again, he did good. He saw some things very well, made some plays. He did a really good job outside the pocket. He also missed a couple of really, really easy things that all of us, regardless who's playing quarterback, all of us got to do better, that I got to coach better. So, but no, I think he was ready. He handled it well. And no, I didn't feel, very hamstrung by the second guy being in.
Aaron Eman.
Field question, Lincoln, FEEL, not field. The swings in this game, I'm trying to get put in perspective. I have no idea how to do it watching. How do you do it going through it on the sideline? I mean, I know it's like this every year, but this seemed to be on a whole nother level, just the back and forth and the sway.
I just think it's just, if you're a true competitor, like, you love it. Like, I mean, the good momentum swings when crowd's going crazy and things are going great. Yeah, of course they feel good. We're human, but like the true competitors love when you're down at half. Like, you love when things don't start right. Like, you love the competition. And again, I think if you get too caught up in these momentum swings, you're too worried about the outcome, as opposed to just play the game, man. Like, just play the game, just compete, just coach the game. Don't worry about where it's at right now. Just kind of keep going. And so that's, been our push. I think that's been a hallmark of this program way before I was here. Just to be an elite competitor, coaches and players. And if you do it, then there's not going to be a moment that you walk into, or anything that happens on a field, good or bad, that's going to change your approach. And so that's, I think you saw a team do that. I think you saw our coaching staff do that today. And that's why we were able to hang in there and flip it and go win it.
Let's try Jesse again.
Hey, Lincoln, I just wanted to ask about that last Kennedy Brooks touchdown to win the game. What was kind of going on the sidelines before that? You guys were kind of in a weird part of the field. Was the plan to maybe, try to get his spot for a field goal? Were you surprised he was able to score on that play? What kind of went through that last play?
Well, most plays we designed to score, they just don't all turn out that way. So it was great. I mean, again, we were obviously going to run the football, trying to gain something. I mean, we were already in field goal position with Gabe, but with 10, the move from 7 to 10 seconds was big, and it was right, but it was big because now guys can be a little bit more aggressive and really go to make a play. And I mean, we just blocked it beautifully. Kennedy hit it, and yeah, that was a lot of, reminded me so much of it was different because it wasn't blocked up as well. Another one was more just an individual great run, but Rodney Anderson a few years ago at Kansas State, very similar deal, and popped it and scored and won the game. So that was awesome. It was just elite execution at a critical time.
Appreciate it, Lincoln. Thank you.
Chris Hummer.
Hey, Lincoln, what was your vantage point of Marvin's toe tap in the right end zone, and how did that swing the momentum of the game in your mind?
It was on the other side of the field. So, I mean, live, I really had zero vantage point of it, and I could see the replay just like everybody else did. Felt pretty confident that he was in at that point, kind of through the pylon. It looked like heel maybe was down first. It was a little difficult to tell down there, but our guys up top were pretty certain of it. And yeah, gosh darn, what a play. I mean, we threw a couple up, and then my man went and got him. He was very special today.
Okay, very last two. Barry Trammell.
Yeah, Lincoln, the last few years in this game, even when you won, you've sort of had to hang on. You played particularly well in the fourth quarter, let Texas back in it. When you did play well in the fourth quarter with Kyler and 18, you still lost at the end. How satisfying is it to sort of dominate a fourth quarter that you had to dominate and come through at the end?
You know me, Barry. I mean, I'm not gonna compare it because I just think that takes away from other teams, other games. But just for this team, it was big because, like you said, there was no other choice. I mean, you either dominate the second half or you don't win the football game. And so no, it was big. I mean, it's been something we've talked a lot about throughout the offseason. Is just us being a team that finishes well, and plays some of our best ball at the end. And we're still working through the other stuff as far as those other quarters, but we've been a group that has finished well, and you keep doing that, you keep winning, we keep improving in between the weeks. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
And John Hoover.
Lincoln, I wonder if you could address a couple of the guys that you got back this week, especially Danny Stutzman, the way he played in that game seemed to be a huge addition to the defense.
He was. It looked like he got in there. And again, you always look for kind of like a guy's first game, a guy's first Red River game, young freshman like that. You look for, is he playing fast? Is he playing physical? Is he executing the calls? And again, from my vantage point, you notice him out there. I mean, he's very physical. He can really run. He's a really smart kid. So it was great to get him back. I thought the linebackers as a whole played well, Danny included. You said somebody else. I'm sorry.
Delarin came back. A couple other guys came back from injury.
Yeah, we only had Delarin for one snap. So, didn't get much there. And a couple of other guys. It's good to have, we're still down. We're still not near 100%, but we'll keep gaining on it as we go. So, the guys that were there fought like crazy. Every person on that roster, everybody hit the field, fought their tail off.
Thanks, Lincoln.
You're welcome.